Okay, so in this video I want to talk about Green Bull. And Green Bull is one of the admirals in One Piece, and you have all the admirals have different color names. For example, the blue, uh, red, purple, yellow, and green. All of them have different colors to their clothing, and symbolizing something with their abilities. Almost all of them, beside uh, Fujitora is probably the only one so far that have a color that is not real. Maybe can symbolize gravity. Purple. Purple is anyway. Purple is a color. If you use it as that color to that ability, is a color is symbolizing mystic power. So purple is most of psychic and other and gravity. So this that sense with purple is symbolizing with gravity and this kind of thing. So Fujitora Rikuyu, the Green Bull, is my speculation here for his devil fruit is that he control nature, that he can use trees, plants, and this kind of thing to use to his abilities. For example, poison flowers, and he can use roots to bind people with the roots. And yeah, I think he's like a combination between the first Hokage's abilities to using three abilities, controlling trees, and like Poison Ivy. I think it's something combination between these two characters. If you combine these two abilities, what Poison Ivy can do and what the first Hokage can do, I think this guy can do that. I think he control plants and trees as he used in his fighting abilities and this kind of thing. Um, I don't think the name Bull have anything to do with his abilities. I just think that Bull can be a symbolizing symbol for his lostness, that he lost for things, lost for women. That there is a reason why he called the Green Bull. But the green is the nature, like green nature, forest, plants, flower. That is the symbolizing for his power of nature. Um, yeah, and then obviously if we're gonna come to Wano, is a possibility that he gonna come to Wano and maybe he is one of the legendary samurais. I is a possibility that he is, but I'm not certain that he is one of the samurais. But I'm more certain that he controls nature, um, and this kind of thing. And this is the only real picture we see of Riku Tora so far from the manga. So we just see a shadowy picture here. So we don't know. We just know that he is a man, and is a guy with big muscles. But we don't know anything else. We don't know if what kind of abilities he have, what kind of is he on the justice side in the world government, or he's more like Fujitora, or is he on Fujitora's side or Akaino's side in the world government's clubhouse, you can say, this kind of thing. So really is the interesting thing here, I think, with all of this with Ricky Tora, is that he's so far the only admiral that we don't know anything about. Many people speculate about different things, but that is common in a community to speculate what abilities a person have, what attitude, and so on. Yeah, and really, all of this, I think, I personally, reason why I choose that, why I think that he have control over nature, over tree, over the forest and plants, is because of his name. And reason why I don't think he have any bull can transform into some bull is because we have already one Soen user that transformed to a bison. I know that bison is a family to the bulls, and but it's obviously it's different how bison looks compared to a normal bull, and so on. But yeah, I think it's more likely that he gonna, if all the other admirals in his team use use different elemental powers, and all of them have the name of, with for example Fujitora, he used red clothing, dark red, magma. Sorry, Akainu used, sorry for that. Akainu used red. Fujitora used purple, gravity. The other one used yellow, the yellow monkey. He using light ability. He used sunlight, so you can teleport very quickly to different places and use that to his ability. The other one that leave the group that use blue, using ice of the admirals and this kind of thing. So all of the admirals, the highest of them, you having elemental power, all of them. So it's most likely that this one, the green bull, also gonna use elemental power, and that is using forest abilities, trees, flowers, and this kind of thing. I think he will use as an ability. And yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting if he's gonna be like a very like the stereotypical bad guy, or if he's gonna be something totally different. So that is very interesting. Interesting if he gonna be more like Akainu, in that sense that he think the only thing that matters in the world in One Piece is total justice, but Akainu really shoots himself in the foot, because if you really think about it, the world government is the opposite of total justice, because they do lots of criminal activity. For example, they work with the Seven Warlords of the Sea, that was pirates, and the other one they working under the most corrupt group of them all, the Celestial Dragons. So, and even their leader is a. Oh, that is the interesting thing. So the whole thing with the world government is corrupt. All of this, because the highest leader, the highest ranking of all of the Celestial Dragons, that is him. Obviously, is the Celestial Dragons, and he have the same ideology as the rest of the Celestial Dragons, with that people under them is like slaves, and this kind of thing. So that obviously means that they are very hypocritical. This the world government, and obviously the people that call themselves total justice in the admirals that is on Akainu's side. So that is, I think, the complicated thing here with the world, obviously about the world government, and obviously this guy Rikishiku, and that he is really one of the admirals of the generals. So yeah, obviously, this is just what I think of his ability, that he control nature, and this kind of thing. Obviously, there is a some other person says to me once that he thinks that his Green Bull's ability was that person tells me that Green Bull can use like Pan in Greek mythology, a flute to bring people under a spell. I think that is a cool idea. I have to say it. I think it's a cool idea because it's not the ability that we have not yet seen so far in One Piece. So if I don't think that green he control nature, for me personally, I more think that he's controlling nature. Like he can use, and then I don't mean that he can just bring up roots to life that spring around people and throw them around, or he can. I think he, since I say in the beginning of the video that he have a combination ability like he can use paralyzing and hypnotic toxic from flowers as one of his ability, and the other ability is that he can use more like a raw force ability with like roots, and he can use like trees that can attack like more nature power ability, and obviously he can armament the trees, so the trees is clad in armor. It's like armament hockey, so they are like big heavy iron made like metal armored tree that can attack and this kind of thing. And obviously, so I think he using two different ability, the main ability, and then he have some small ability he can obviously combine with that, obviously because it's a manga. He can use obviously thing that not really cannot do in reality, and that obviously is the trees like armament hockey and the toxic poison ability, paralyzing, hypnotic, poison from different plants. So I think in general with all of this about Riku Shuku and all of his ability in general, if I just say like to be very simple about what I think his ability is about all of them, is that he controls everything that have with the nature green to do. Everything, and what I mean with it, I mean everything from jungle and the forest, because if you go in the obviously different rainforest in the world, you have different plants, and different plants can do different things. Some plants can do more things, and some things is good for human body with some plants and things with a plant and this kind of thing, and some plants are not so good for human body. Some just hurt something. Some plants are very dangerous because they are very toxic. So I think all of his ability is based on plants and trees. That is more. I don't. The complicated thing here, because I don't think that he. I think what I mean with all the simple to make it that he simply like using nature as his power, that he can bring everything that comes from nature, he can bring to his arsenal when he fight. So that is what I think his ability is. That is what I think that he used nature as his power. The nature and the forest and the So should be going to be very interesting to see his ability, if that is the case or not. For most of the time in One Piece, you can know what a character have for abilities. For example, obviously with Kaido, my first speculation with Kaido was that Kaido was a big like demon bull. That was my first speculation for Kaido. Also, that was incorrect. And yeah, a bull, the Demon King, because Monkey D. Luffy, Monkey, Demon King, Monkey King. Obviously, that was my first speculation for Kaido, that he was the Bull Demon King. For the Bull Demon King, also have ability to use magic that can transform different objects and different creatures and so on. And that's what I think. So obviously, if I just think on obviously with the whole thing with Kaido's tattoo, is that Kaido's tattoo is like a dragon scale tattoo on his arm, like a dragon tattoo. And so obviously that was a hint for Kaido's devil fruit ability. And then we know obviously that is what Kaido's devil fruit is not, what Kaido belonged to. Is Kaido and Yamato belong to the Oni race, to the Onis. And that is also a possibility that one of the Blackbeard pirates, Pizarro, also belonged to the Oni race, and this kind of thing. Yeah. So what I mean with all of this is that some name can hint to one ability, and this kind of thing. So, for example, green bull, so green nature, or that is the most common thing you think of if you think about. If we say that a green bull was not a admiral, was just normal, was a pirate, have nothing to do with the world government, and you say green bull, then you maybe can have more speculation of his ability, that he maybe more like a mythical bull, but because all of the other admirals in his team that in that rank, all of them have nature abilities, magma, sunlight, gravity, then obviously forest. So I absolutely can be wrong here, absolutely, but I think it's a very very big chance here that he control nature really. I don't can see anything else really. That he control nature. And obviously that he talk about that he likes girls, and obviously show his body without any shirt on. You can see here on the shadow, you see his muscle. It's also a symbolizing, also a symbol for that nature, fertility. You know what I mean. All of this is very much connected with nature. That is in many mythologies, with, for example, Greek, other mythologies, that most of the time, like fertility and this kind of thing was most of the time belong in nature, nature's creatures and all of this kind of thing. Is very much into it, like Pan, for example, and with his flute and other. But you also have other creatures, for example, from Irish mythology, that is not centaur. Centaurs are also very famous to be very not in the modern stories of centaurs, but more in the ancient stories of centaurs. The centaurs was very much very very, how can I say it in a way, okay, I say it's like this: they were very unpolite toward women, and they was obviously all of the people at that time in ancient Greek mythology, ancient Greek description of mythology, was a very different way how we describe books today, and it's a very different things how things look like today. When you read a ancient book, and obviously you see ancient depiction of mythical monsters, they look very very different from the monster used, for example, Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guard this the underworld and guard the souls so they cannot escape Hades' realm. If you look at Cerberus on ancient pots, you're gonna see something very, very different from what you see on modern posters or on computer game or t-shirts or tattoos. You see something very, very different. First of all, the most depiction of Cerberus is not a pit bull dog with three heads or like a battle dog. It's a very much more, looks more friendly, a more friendly stereotypical design of a dog comparable to the modern depiction of Cerberus or a modern depiction of Medusa is very different, obviously from different culture. If you look, for example, at how the Etruscan depict Medusa, Medusa looks more like a funny clown. In the Etruscan paintings and sculptures and this kind of thing, much more cartoonish than Medusa. Now the Medusa is very more like a evil, almost a more evil looking witch in comparison. Always a different time in Greek mythology and Etruscan mythology and depiction of art. So obviously the interesting thing here with all of the depiction of something can means different thing, and obviously with how obviously in all of the depiction in modern times. So this is very interesting. That reason why I even bring this up in this video when we talk about the green bull is that most of people, when they see this picture here, probably gonna think that green bull is looks a very mean looking guy, because that is what people are used to when they see admiral. They are big guys, tattoos, but sometimes a character that, for example, Big Mom, that everybody a bit angry at because they make Big Mom as to make fun of her. But you have to understand what Big Mom is, that Big Moms don't really need to care how she acts because she have a so strong ability. And with all of this is that I think is gonna be interesting to see what Green Bull have, what kind of ability Green Bull have. Maybe he have something ability that have nothing to do with nature, nothing to do with to be a bull. Maybe he have something that is totally different from his name, something that we don't suspect at all. And that should be very fun. That maybe have something that really gonna make something that people just think. Yeah, and so that is also a big possibility here, that it's just a trick and illusion what we see and what we think of a character in a manga and so on. That is also a big possibility. But most of the time, if I should be totally honest here, most of the time in One Piece, most of the time the character you see often have that ability that you see them as. Most of the time, not always, but sometimes they can be bit more tricky, that you don't really know. But if you really think about it, if you see the only I can say character that's a bit complicated to see, for example, Rob Lucci. Before we know that Rob Lucci used the leopard, so and devil fruit, that Rob Lucci was more complicated to know what kind of devil fruit he have, because he don't have anything that gives away that he is a leopard. The only thing is that he was a very bloodthirsty assassin. But but then you can put any animals to that. So the more likelier animals and the more bloodthirsty in reality is a mink. And then a leopard. Obviously, leopard is bigger and stronger, but a mink and what is the other name? This is in cat in Europe. A link. A link is more like a kills more for kills for than hungry, but also kills sometimes for fun, for pleasure. But that is most common for cats to play with their prey before they kill the prey. And Rob Lucci liked to play with his play with people he's gonna kill. So in that sense, you can maybe see some connection with some of the cats and this kind of thing. Yeah, and yeah, this is everything I really want to say about Green Bull and this kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Bye.